Bob, how you going?
Good, thank you.
Good. So you've had a few. You saw my videos on YouTube, etc. And you're
Definitely.
here.
Yep.
You've had a lot of back problems. You were saying you're
Yeah.
got a computer in your back that stimulates the nerves and that sort of thing. You
That's correct.
had a lot of chronic back pain for a long time.
Yes.
And we did a bit of work on Bob's foot yesterday, but then he felt quite out of it. And today we worked on his head, and I found he was incredibly tight just here in his jaw, both sides. So what we're going to do today is work on this hand, because this hand is really tight. And Bob was saying he was a glazier for a long time, lifting up glass.
Lifting with the left hand, holding with the right, but the left taking the main weight.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking with Bob, this is going to be a long-term treatment to fix his back and to fix everything. He's incredibly tight everywhere. Is we want to get the tension out of this hand, specifically the thumb, but all the fingers are tight. That will then get the tension out of here, which will then enable him not to clench his jaw when we're working on his feet. Because if he clenches his jaw when we're working on his feet, it like gives him a headache, made him feel really out of it, and it doesn't. The energy, the trap tightness doesn't actually come out.
Did not.
Did not. No.
Far from it.
Far from it. So.
Yes, I've got to learn to relax.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So lots of stuff going on. So I'll get you to film while we do the hand. All right, as I say, I'm just going to get settled in, and we want to reduce the tension in this thumb first of all. So he's very tight in here. You can see there's not a lot of movement going on, even with his joints here. They're quite tight. Can't go back much here. So what we've found is that the inner thumb band's tight, and this outer thumb band is very tight, coming up into here. And that's going to then come up here, and this is just super tight up here, and it's then coming up here, and it's coming right up into his neck here, which is then making his jaw tight. But also we've got the tension coming from these fingers coming into his middle wristband here, and super tight through his arm here and in here, and we can flick over. And in here, I call it shocking or atrociously tight, and it's just coming up here as well. And then it's coming into the middle side of his neck. So the front here, and then we've got the upper little finger band here. And you can see it's sort of bent there. It just feels really tight and stuck there. But his joints do move well, which is good. But the tightness is coming right up into here and along here. And really, whoops, sorry, Bob. It's just throwing me off. It's so tight in here and right up into more the side, but the back of his neck there. So a bit right in there. They're already coming for you, Bob.
Thank you. Take me away.
Yeah. So this whole side of his neck is just super tight, and it's just making this whole side of his head here. I was feeling before here, and he's just super tight in the side of his head. His jaw is just shocking. It's so tight in here. So my goal first is to get this hand loose, and that's going to take me some time, and I'm going to do a good job on each of his thumb and finger. I don't know how much we'll get done in this session. We'll just see how we go. My first job is to get his thumb loose, okay? But we also want to make sure that Bob can breathe through it. He can process it, because he does have that tight jaw. We want to monitor that. So I'm going to always be monitoring Bob's, how he's going, because obviously he's got a lot of health issues going on there as well. So I'm going to start off fairly gently, just using a chopstick in this point here, and just seeing how that's going for him. How's that out of 10 for you, Bob?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. I can still feel it being effective. And we're just going to want Bob to relax and deep breathe, and he's doing that well. Because I'm focused more on the outer thumb band, I'm going to follow it this way. And I'm going to go over it at a sort of light to medium pressure, which is still quite intense for Bob, just to give it a bit of a quick run over here and see what's going to come away nice and easy. Obviously this area here is very tight. Super tight there. And again, just let him breathe a couple times. How you feeling, Bob?
Okay.
Yep, good. So I'm just letting him catch up. It's very important. It's going to stir up a lot. We don't want to overwhelm him. And again, sort of gently, just sort of tracing out where I'm going to be working for him. All right. And then I'm going to come in and go in between the dots I already did to really open up that band or that channel. Sometimes I call them bands because that's more of a physical thing, but underneath it, it's like a channel of energy, just like a meridian in Chinese massage or a sen line in Thai. There's energy or electricity, whatever it is.
Is this what we call connective tissue?
I don't know. I don't use that term very much, but I always think of connective tissues. My thought would be that it would be ligaments and tendons and things like that, but I don't know. Yeah. So here I'm holding that point that's really charged on the side here, and sometimes I'm just rolling his finger into, and then letting into the chopstick here, and then letting him breathe into it. And all the while just monitoring him, making sure it's not overwhelming for him. All good, Bob?
Yep.
And then I can stimulate it slightly. So you can see this is why a chopstick it's such a powerful, it's just the slightest movement on that intensity and it changes. That's why you got to have it. To use chopsticks, you really want to have a good sense of empathy, a good sense of intuition of what you're doing with it, rather than just somebody who's coming in and just pushing points. It's dangerous without sensing what they're doing. So don't use chopsticks on people at home if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm just holding that point. Like I say, sometimes I'm moving the thumb ever so slightly into it, and you can see that, or I'm just slightly stimulating it. But the rest of the time I'm waiting. That's stirring up stuff for him. So I want him to breathe. Don't ever overwhelm people. We have what we call a regulating factor, and that is the amount that they can breathe into. If you just go crazy and just start stirring so much up, the person will just go into a hyperventilative state. Okay, then I'm coming back in. I'm going a bit deeper now. You can see I'm getting in deeper than I was before. And I'm virtually projecting energy into that chopstick too to go right into there. And then I'm moving the thumb toward it. Then I'll let him breathe a bit. How you feeling, Bob? Still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, keep the back straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want you to tighten up and flinch your back.
Yeah, no, I just did it. Hey.
Did, yeah. So we let him breathe a bit. Just slowing that pace down. Yeah. You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll let him breathe a bit. Never rush it. Remember, I always say we're the servant of the breath. Okay? It's like you don't want to put too much stuff into like a garbage disposal unit. If you put too much in, it'll jam. Same with like a mulching machine for those of you in the country. I use mulchers, and if you put too many sticks in there, the thing stops.
Yeah. Bob, can you feel him flicking over the bands when he rubs it?
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
And does it, like you just wiggled your other hand, did it shoot like pain across to the other hand? Or?
No, I just try to offset it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
It's
just my defense
localised.
mechanism, I suppose.
So again, we'll just let him breathe a bit.
Yeah.
We don't. Patience and perseverance are two of the most important qualities. As I say, we have that tendency to go, I want to flush this tension out of him. Even if it's to help him, we could have that tendency, right? But we can't, and he could even have that tendency. Go, yeah, just get it out, But we always have to be working with what can he breathe into. Okay, and if he's got a tight jaw, that might be limited or a bit not as good. But still, this should help.
Body and the breath, his body and breath needs to work with it.
Right, But we don't want him tightening up against us. That's going to be completely counterproductive. So we just got to work it at the pace that he can handle, not even the pace that he wants to get better, or the pace that I want. You know, might be going, oh, this is boring.
It's body response, really.
It is, yeah. So we're going to come back in and do another one right on this point here.
So this is the inner thumb band.
Outer thumb band.
Yeah. I can feel it.
Yep. He was answering your question. So, like I say, you've got to get that right amount of pressure, and then we can even do like things like just bend the thumb, and he feels it more, or roll over it. And I'll come back and do that again. Just get the roots of that band loose again. But I'm going deeper this time. How's that, Bob, out of 10? About a 9? Okay. 10 is where you're going to tighten up against me, okay? And I don't want to go over that. I don't mind working at 8s and 9s.
Boy.
What's that?
It's an old boy.
Yeah. You okay with that?
Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Crikey.
Okay, so I'm going in a bit more now, a bit faster even as it's starting to let go. I could then follow that up with some work crossing over with my thumb on that band, okay? And that's going to help disperse it again. Then I'm going to come in and work this, whoop. Thank you. Work this part of the band that's going to join in somewhere through here, okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, bloody hell.
At a 9.5?
Oh, that's a 9.5.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Is that still the outer thumb band or the top?
Yeah, they join in. So the two side bands, sorry, the front band and the side band join in.
Jesus.
So here I'm just holding that and just slightly moving. His thumb like that. You can see he's enjoying that. I'll let him breathe a bit though. Catch up so he's not going to tighten up against me. Just relax, Bob.
Easier said than done.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah,
Oh, that one fucking hurt.
yeah. So just again, let him process what we've stirred up. Don't rush. You know? It's been intense for him. Obviously, I'm working high. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.